Lesson 15.4, graphing and writing equations in slope-intercept form. It says graph each line. Slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. M is always the slope, so we could say that the slope is always the number that's in front of x, and then the constant on the end, or without an x, it's not always on the end, but without an x, is called the y-intercept. Well, slope is a pattern, but it's a pattern after we have a point to start at. So it's easiest to start with the y-intercept since that's what it is. And so this is our y-intercept. So on the y-axis, I put a point at -5. Then the pattern from there is 1/6. That's your slope. So I would go up 1 since it's positive. So up 1, and then since it's also positive 6, I'm going to go right 6. And then put another point. Go up 1, right 6, which would put me at 12, but that's okay. The other thing is you could go down 1 and back 6, because that's going down, which is negative, and left, which is negative, which actually still turns into positive slope. So your line will be made looking like this. On Delta Math, you just need 2 points, and it'll make the line for you. Right, number 2. You start with your 2, that's your y-intercept, so put it on the y-axis. This is your slope, which is -3 over 1. So you're going to go down 3, 1, 2, 3, and then right 1, because the 1 is still positive. You want your slope, or your line, going downhill when you read it left to right. Okay, there's one more page. And now we're doing the exact opposite. We are writing the equation of the line in fully simplified slope-intercept forms. Remember, y equals mx plus b. So looking here, I want to find the y-intercept first. Well, it doesn't matter which you find first, but the y-intercept is easiest for me. Then I start at that point, and I go to the point after it to the right. So that I'm going down 1, right 2. That's my slope. So my slope is -1/2. So the equation of my line would be y equals -1/2 x minus 7 was my y-intercept. Now, if you wouldn't have picked this point, let's say you would have picked, I don't know, let's go way up here. You could still do it. You would have to go backwards. So you'd go up 1, 2, 3, 4, and left 8, which would be a negative direction. 4 over -8 still makes -1/2. So it shouldn't matter as long as you understand your signs and you put a rise over a run. Right, number 4. Again, I see the y-intercept being -7. That's kind of weird. This time I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3 and write 1. So 3 over 1 is really just 3. So it'd be y equals 3x, and I said my y-intercept was -7. Okay, and last thing we need to talk about is horizontal and vertical lines. I want you to write HOI, and that stands for, I should have actually written it like this. Horizontal lines have 0 slope, and they start with y equals a number. So when I have this line here, since it's horizontal, it's going to have to start with y equals, and it's going to be whatever y value it crosses through. So that's y equals -3. And the reason is because if I have a table and I know the y is always -3, look, I have a point at 1, -3, 2, -3, 9, -3. What they have in common is they've all been moved down 3, and so it's changed the y value. Number 6 is a vertical line. I want you to write VUX, V-U-X. That is an acronym that means vertical lines have undefined slope, and they start with x equals a number. And so this time, since it's vertical, it's karate chopping or cutting through the x-axis at 5, so I'd put x equals 5. And again, it's because every x value is at 5. This is the point 5, 0, 5, 3, 5, 5. Every time it's a 5 something. And so every x is 5.